I've added a couple things that I wanted to keep hidden on the bike. First thing I added was my garage door opener. Just some Velcro both sides. Tucked under that fairing. Accessible by my fingers right there. The other thing I added was a 12 volt accessory adapter under the left hand fairing. Tucked out of the way, keeps the lines clean, and here's how I did it. Just a number of items that can be powered from a 12 volt accessory plug in your car, and the bike is no different. I have a cell phone that if I use for a GPS application, it really should be plugged in to avoid draining the battery. What I've done is I picked up a simple, inexpensive battery tender kit. These can be purchased at Walmart, automotive stores, and even bike shops. An outdoor or exterior accessory plug receptacle. Some Molex type connectors, and then an automotive power plug. In this case it would be a bike plug. First step is to install this short harness with the fuse inline on the hot side. The harness has been routed out of the way. The fuse has been tucked down here. The ground wire tie wrapped off, and the negative wire. And I punched a little hole and split this little rubber boot so that it neatly fits over top of the positive wire. And then routed it down underneath the tank out of the way. I'm going to follow the harness up to the front of the fairing with some of the other major harnesses under here. The battery tender kit comes with this harness here to give you the option to connect directly to the battery. With this length of cable and the amount of wire that's left on the plug, I can actually reach my desired location under the fairing if I remove this bit right here. Let's go ahead and do that. Can use that for another application somewhere along the line. The accessory plug comes with a spade and a ring terminal. Just remove those as well. On the harness that you've cut, install the plugs or the pins for the Molex connectors. These pins then just snap into these plastic cases. It takes some fishing and some patience to route the cables in the proper spot. Now to prepare the accessory plug, there's a lip on my fairing that I need to clear. So I'm going to put a little block to offset the plug a little bit. I have some stainless steel screws to attach the plug to the block. And then I'll drill two more down from the fairing into this block here and hold it up underneath. I have the receptacle tucked under this front fairing here, out of the way. so that even with an accessory plug installed, there's no interference with the forks on full lock to lock. Just 2 stainless steel screws to attach that plastic block that I showed you before down through the top, and everything's fairly secure. The battery tender charger has a very long cord, which is great. I've left this end intact in case I ever need to disconnect the harness on the motorcycle and use the short piece that I've wired directly to the battery. This matches that piece there. But for normal everyday use, I took one of those spare harnesses that I cut the clamps off and added an adapter plug on the end. Very, very important to maintain polarity all the way through the system. Follow the positive plug all the way from that pin to the positive terminal on your battery. Maintaining your battery is as simple as plugging the battery tender charger into a receptacle and plugging the adapter into the plug that you've installed on the bike.